Okay, so this is Ringwalk Media, an association with Eyes Therapy, Still Hub Management and Barclay Carter Racing. It's great to see you, Mr Johnny Nelson MBE.
That's right. You know what? Still keep forgetting when people say that to me. I'm like, yeah, that's me.
That's well deserved, as they say.
Yeah. You know what? We're doing some good stuff with it, so that's a good thing.
Well, listen, big week this week. We had the workouts yesterday, very colourful, and a big press conference today for the Fraser Clark and Fabio Wardley fight.
You know what? I actually think this is, in my opinion, the best card Boxxer have put on from top to bottom. Every fight on the bill, if it's not a Chiefs, if not, could be a Chief support, head of the house, could be a Chief support. Great fights, and it's one of those shows where you can't actually say, "I'll miss this fight, watch the other one." Congo, Maru.
Going to be tasty, that.
Mad, you know. You've got Vidal Riley against Lawal. Mad, you know. You've got the Savages back, you know, against Robinson. Mad, and of course Ben Whittaker's in the house. You know, I think it's just a wicked. I think it's just a wicked night. I think it's a wicked night of boxing. Really excited about it.
Well, listen, let's talk a little bit about the Ben Whittaker fight. Up to now, he's been breezing through his opponents, done very well, got himself out there in the limelight a little bit. He's facing a different opponent this week. He's got Leon Willins, Central Area title winner about 5-6 weeks ago, in good form, doesn't go down. Do you think this is the step up Ben needs to showcase his skill sets? If
I'm honest with you, I think Ben's well and truly past this level, but he's got to. I think he should go through it the traditional way, and that it's not just a physical thing; that's a mental thing as well. Knowing that you've ticked every box, you don't think you can, you know you can, and so I think this fight for Ben is for him to showcase himself. And if he's the star we predict he's going to be, he should get this job done and do a good job. People mistake Ben's arrogance for arrogance. This young man's very confident. He trains like a trooper. He's always training. I know fighters that have had unbelievable talent, and they turn up to train for turn up to training camp to train for a fight, and then disappear. This guy lives in the gym, and I actually like that. I respect that that mindset, that work ethic when it comes to boxing. So what you see on the outside, that's just the business side of it. But he's a good grafter.
And of course, main event, Wardley and Clark. I'm glad it's sort of taken a little bit longer to get to this fight, because I think they're now both at the top of their game.
They are. I think, if I'm honest with you, I don't think they're top of the game. I think both guys are developing nicely. I think Wardley, you've got to look at him. He is the one with the professional experience. And so, talking just a professional game, you'd lean towards Wardley. But because I know Fraser, I know what Fraser does behind closed doors, I know the pedigree of people he's trained with, he spars with, and plus you sprinkle the pedigree of his amateur career on that. Even though that shouldn't make a difference, I think Fraser's just not had the opportunity to show it where Fabio has. This is a tough fight for both fighters. I think there's more pressure on Fraser's shoulders than there is on Fabio's shoulders. Fabio can always say, look, I'm a white collar fighter. I've learnt on the job, so I've done well. He can always fall back on that. Whereas Fabio, when we did the gloves off, brilliant. He just said, look, the press is on your shoulders. You've represented your country. You talk to amateurs about turning professional and, work ethic and everything. If you lose to me, how are you going to hold your head high and go back and speak to those guys? Losing to a guy that's had white collar fights. So the pressure is on him. And I know Fraser said it isn't, but I see it getting under his skin.
He's very calm and focused this week. He's normally a very bright, sunshine kind of guy. He speaks to all the media. He's a good fella. Fraser Clark, yeah. And this week, we spoke to him this morning. He's just so in the zone.
Yeah, he's in the zone because he knows what's at risk. He knows he cannot afford to slip up. And he's pissed off. He's pissed off because he's in this situation against Fabio, a guy that's not got the same pedigree as him. Now, again, it might be boxing snobbery, but the amateur game and professional game are two completely different sports. I had 13 amateur fights, I only won 3. When I turned professional, the amount of former Olympians, the amount of national champions that I beat, and they couldn't understand how you can do that. Some guys are better pros than they are amateurs. It's not very often you've got good amateurs end up being good pros. And so Fraser's got to try and put that away and just think about the experience he has, the people he's trained with, the people he's been in the ring with, and think, right then, behind closed doors, now he's going to make it public.
And of course, Florian Maru and Chris Congo, I mean, that's going to be colourful, isn't it?
That's going to be so colourful, that's funny. And I like Florian's mindset. Yeah, I like his attitude. I love his attitude. And Congo, again, Congo's in there. Congo's got to choose the right tactics, because if he goes in there and he tries to have a tear-up with him, toe-to-toe tear-up with him, he'll get done, because Florian's happy to do that. If he goes there and gives Marcus space to think, again, he gets done. He's got to put him on the educated boxing pressure. If he puts him on the educated boxing pressure, Marco's head isn't there. You know, he's not got that boxing finesse. He's got the fight finesse. He'll fight anybody, and he'll pull you in. And when you get in, he suckers you in. He's got you, and he's very good at that, because he's like a peacock. You think, I'm gonna chest up. I'm gonna give him what, you know. I'm gonna show him. And you get drawn into his fight. You get drawn into his kind of fight. So Marco's no idiot. Marco knows exactly what to do. He knows his limitations, and he knows he's got to set a trap for you. And all of his opponents have walked into that trap. Congo's got to be smart. He's got to say, I ain't doing that. I ain't going to walk into that trap. I'm going to do what I do, boxing with educated pressure.
And then we've got what can only be described as probably the street brawl. Mr Babich and Mr Robinson. I mean, there's going to be no technical boxing in that one. They're going to meet in the middle of the ring, aren't they?
You know what? I spoke to Babich yesterday, and I think the loss really made him think about who he was as a person, and made him address the ignorance of being a brute, and use the technical ability. His feet needed addressing, and that's what he's done. I think he's working with Pascal Collins now, and in doing that, Pascal's a clever guy. He knows what he's doing, and he's not going to waste his time with somebody that's going to waste his time. I think the loss might have done Babich a world of good, because now he's had to go back, think, I can fight, I've got the guts, I've got the heart, I've got the corners, I just need the finesse. For Steve Robinson's up forever in that position where he thinks, you know what, I want people to respect me as a boxer, and he wants to work. He's got good work ethic. He's a very honest pro that's going to go out there and give his own. Now he loves the sport, whereas before, when he first started, I don't think he loved the sport. Now he loves the sport, and I like that.
Well, listen, Boxxer going from strength to strength, as always. Good cards coming up. You've got Lauren Price versus McCaskill. I've got to say, we were quite surprised that it was going to be Lauren fighting McCaskill, because we thought perhaps Natasha Jonas might have got that fight.
Well, I think Lauren has been itching for something like that, a fight like that, for quite a while now. She's got what she wants. It's a tough fight for her at home. It'll be a massive learning fight for her. The problem is this: if Lauren wins, she's done in deep waters, and her experience doesn't match her ability. And so she might be better than most fighters, but she has not got the experience to navigate her way through against top tier fighters. They'll hustle her, and you'll lose to people you shouldn't lose to. I think that for Natasha herself has said, this might probably be my last year in boxing. So she's going to make sure the fight she picks, she chooses to have, are worth it, financially worth it, and they've got something attached to it, not a nothing fight. So I understand where she's at. It's the business side of it.
Where do you think she goes? Because obviously she wanted McCaskill, because that's a belt that she hasn't got. She's not going to get McCaskill. She's not going to get Katie Taylor, because they're going to go towards Serrano. Where does she go?
She's going to go where the biggest money is. She's going to go Sandy Ryan. She's going to go where the biggest money is. And if she does that, she's going to do what's best for her career. She's achieved everything as a fighter, so she's in a position to cash out. You know, and then if she cashes out on a win, that's great. So therefore, the choice is hers. It's her shout.
Well, listen, I'm going to get a prediction from you now. The main event. You're going to sit on the fence. I know you are, but we're going to try. Who's going to win, Wardley or Clark?
I'm going Clark only because I know what he's capable of doing behind closed doors. If I didn't know that, I'd have picked Wardley, because I don't think the amateurs make any difference in the program, and I'm an example for that. So the reason why I'm going for Clark is because I know what he's capable of doing behind closed doors.
Well, listen, Johnny, as always, pleasure to see you. we thank you for your time, because I know it's precious. You've got a lot to do with Sky and everything. But yeah, Johnny, MBE. We've got to say MBE every time. You keep forgetting it, don't you? Thank you for you, mate.
Thank you. Nice one.